Dear ladies and gentlemen, so many of us spend our lives looking left and right, measuring our worth by what others are doing. We scroll, we compare, we analyze, and before long, our identity is built on competing instead of creating. But I came to remind you today, life is not about competing, it's about dominating. Not dominating people, but dominating the lane you were designed for. Not trying to be better than them, but becoming the fullest, boldest, most unstoppable version of you. You see, when you live in competition mode, you are living in limitation mode. Because the moment you measure yourself against somebody else, you put a ceiling on your own potential. But when you decide to dominate, when you decide to own your calling, embrace your uniqueness, and show up with confidence, you don't just play the game, you change the game. Domination is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. It's about knowing that you were crafted with gifts no one else has, with opportunities no one else can steward, and with a purpose no one else can fulfill. So why would you shrink into competition when you were created for domination? 10 key points of the speech: competing with others distracts you from your true assignment in life. Domination means owning your lane, not copying someone else's path. Comparison creates ceilings, but focus breaks barriers. Confidence grows when you stop chasing approval and start embracing purpose. Your uniqueness is your greatest strength, not your weakness. Domination is about influence, not intimidation. Success is not being better than them, but being better than the old you. When you dominate your calling, doors open that competition could never unlock. Fear fades when you're focused on fulfilling your purpose. True domination comes from discipline, faith, and persistence, not luck. So many times we get caught up in this endless cycle of competition. We wake up in the morning, and before we even stretch, we're scrolling through someone else's highlight reel, comparing our behind the scenes to their staged presentation. We measure our worth by their progress, our value by their applause, our strength by their numbers. But competing with others is the fastest way to lose sight of who you truly are. When you compete with others, you're essentially saying, their race is my race. But the truth is, you were never called to run their race. You were called to run your own. And when you get consumed with what's happening in their lane, you miss what God is trying to do in your lane. Competition keeps you distracted. It's like trying to drive forward while staring out the side window. You can't move with confidence because you're too busy glancing left and right. And here's the truth. The moment you live in comparison, you give away your focus, and when you lose focus, you lose momentum. That's why some of us feel stuck. It's not because we're not gifted, not because we don't have potential, but because we've been so busy trying to measure ourselves against people who aren't even meant to define us. Think about it. Nobody remembers the runner who kept looking sideways in the race. The one who wins is the one who stays locked into their lane. In life, when you're competing with others, you burn energy chasing shadows instead of building substance. You limit yourself to their level when God has called you to rise higher. That's why you can't afford to live in competition mode, because competing forces you to imitate, but dominating empowers you to innovate. When you stop competing, you stop shrinking. When you stop comparing, you stop guessing. And when you stop chasing their approval, you start stepping into your authority. That's when you begin to realize, I don't have to compete with anyone when I was created to be unmatched. No one else has your exact fingerprint. No one else carries your exact assignment. No one else has your exact calling. So why should you lower yourself to comparison when you were designed to dominate in your lane? Here's **, key point 2 fully expanded in large length ** for your speech *. Don't compete, dominate. * written in the same powerful flowing style. Domination doesn't come from being louder than everyone else or trying to outshine people around you. It comes from owning who you are fully and unapologetically. When you dominate, you're not worried about keeping up with the pace of others, because you've discovered your own rhythm. You're not obsessed with who's ahead of you or behind you, because you've locked into the power that God placed within you. Domination is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing that you've been equipped with a set of gifts, talents, and opportunities that were designed for you, and when you lean into them, you begin to operate on a level that competition can't touch. See, competition says, I'll try to be better than them, but domination says, I'll be the best version of me. Competition sets your ceiling at somebody else's standard, but domination breaks the ceiling and creates a new one. When you live to dominate, you no longer settle for measuring your progress by their progress, because you realize that your assignment is too unique to fit into their mold. That's why people who dominate are often misunderstood. They don't follow the script everyone else is reading from, they write a new one. When you choose to dominate, you make a decision. I'm not going to shrink to fit someone else's lane. I'm not going to let insecurity or doubt dictate how far I can go. I'm going to take what I've been given, maximize it, multiply it, and walk in it with authority. Domination is when you stop begging for a seat at the table and start building your own table. It's when you stop waiting for permission to shine and realize you've already been given the light. It's when you stop apologizing for the space you occupy and start using that space to impact lives. The truth is, domination is not about crushing people. It's about crushing the limits you once believed about yourself. It's about silencing the voices that told you can't, and proving through your consistency, your perseverance, and your faith that you can. Domination is refusing to live small just because it makes other people comfortable. It's choosing to live in the fullness of your potential, even if it intimidates some and inspires others. Because, here's the reality, when you step into domination, you stop chasing crowds and start creating movements. Here's key point 3 fully expanded in large length, for your speech don't compete, dominate, continuing in the same bold and motivational style. Domination is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things with relentless focus and consistency. Too often, people scatter their energy trying to match what others are doing, jumping from one idea to another, chasing applause, chasing recognition, chasing validation. But domination means deciding, this is my lane, this is my calling, this is my race, and I will pour everything I have into it until it produces fruit. When you dominate, you don't waste time looking sideways. You keep your eyes fixed forward, because the moment you turn your head to see who's next to you, you risk slowing down. Domination requires tunnel vision. Think about the greatest athletes, innovators, or leaders. What sets them apart is not that they try to do everything better than everyone else, but that they mastered what only they could bring to the world. They dug deep into their craft, they stayed disciplined, and they refused to quit even when the results weren't immediate. That's what domination looks like. It's consistency stacked on consistency, small victories stacked on small victories, until suddenly you're not just in the game, you're changing the game. Domination demands that you stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. It's about embracing the process without resenting it. Maybe right now you're not where you want to be. Maybe you feel behind. But domination says, I won't stop, I won't settle, I won't dilute who I am to fit in. I will keep showing up, keep building, keep pushing until what I carry inside of me becomes undeniable. And here's the thing, when you dominate, people notice. They may not clap at first, they may even doubt you. But when you keep showing up with excellence and resilience, your work starts speaking louder than their words. Domination is not flashy, it's faithful. It's waking up every day with the mindset that you're not just here to survive, you're here to leave a mark. It's understanding that the world doesn't need a copy of somebody else. It needs the best, most powerful version of you. And when you commit to that, competition loses its grip on you. because you realize you were never in the same race as them to begin with. Here's asterisk asterisk key point 4 fully expanded in large length asterisk asterisk for your speech asterisk. Don't compete, dominate asterisk. Domination is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. It's about knowing who you are, why you're here, and what you're meant to do. When you live from that place of clarity, you stop wasting energy fighting battles that were never yours to fight. Competing often makes people lose themselves because they start copying, imitating, and trying to outshine someone else. But domination is different. It's rooted in authenticity. You don't need to be louder, flashier, or trendier. You need to be truer. Because truth is unstoppable. When you operate from your true identity and gifts, no one can replicate it, no one can replace it, and no one can shut it down. Domination calls you to stop measuring your worth by someone else's scoreboard. Just because someone else hit a milestone faster than you doesn't mean your journey is less valuable. Domination is understanding that timing is part of the process and preparation is not wasted. What looks like delay is often development. You're being sharpened in the dark so you can shine in the light. And when your moment comes, you won't just show up. You'll show up ready, refined, and unstoppable. Think about it this way. When you're only competing, you're constantly reacting to what others are doing. But when you dominate, you set the standard. You lead, you innovate, you break the mold. You stop asking, how can I be better than them? And start asking, how can I be the best version of me? That's the shift. Because domination is not about taking someone else's place. It's about filling the space you were designed to fill, so fully and so faithfully that no one can deny your impact. And here's the beauty. Domination doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it looks like discipline in the unseen. Sometimes it looks like showing up even when nobody's watching, practicing when nobody's clapping, giving your best when nobody's cheering. But it's in those unseen moments that champions are formed. You may not get recognition today, but when the spotlight comes, your preparation will speak for you. That's what sets dominators apart. They don't wait for permission, they live on purpose. They don't shrink back in fear, they rise with boldness. And they don't stop halfway, they finish with fire. Here's asterisk asterisk key point 5 fully expanded in large length asterisk asterisk for your speech asterisk. Don't compete, dominate asterisk. When you walk in the mindset of domination, you realize that the battlefield is not out there. It's in here, in your mind and in your spirit. The real fight is not against another person's success. It's against the doubts that whisper you're not enough, the fears that convince you to shrink back, and the insecurities that try to anchor you in mediocrity. Domination is about silencing those voices and replacing them with truth. It's about reminding yourself daily that you were created with intentionality, that you carry something unique, and that no one can disqualify you except yourself. And when you decide that fear doesn't get the final say, you step into a confidence that cannot be shaken. Competing often keeps people small because they play to match the level of others, but domination calls you to rise beyond comparison. You're not here to blend in, you're here to stand out. You're not here to echo someone else's message, you're here to release your own. The world doesn't need another copy, it needs your originality. And the truth is, when you finally embrace your unique design, you stop wasting energy trying to win over everybody and start focusing on impacting somebody. You understand that your purpose was never about pleasing the crowd. It was about fulfilling your calling. Domination requires consistency, not just bursts of energy. Anyone can show up strong for a week, but champions keep showing up when it's hard, when it's quiet, when it feels like nothing is moving. Domination is about endurance. It's about being the kind of person who doesn't just start the race with passion, but finishes it with power. And here's the thing, when you live with that kind of persistence, opportunities begin to find you. Doors open not because you forced them, but because your faithfulness prepared you to walk through them. This is what sets dominators apart. They know how to stay grounded in humility while rising in strength. They don't get intoxicated by applause, nor do they get paralyzed by criticism. They understand that both can distract if you let them. Instead, they anchor themselves in the truth of who they are and who they're becoming. Domination doesn't mean being the loudest in the room. It means being the most authentic, the most disciplined, the most faithful to the mission you've been given. That's how you leave a legacy, not by outshining others, but by refusing to dim your own light.